It is the Jeff Dubé Show on a Monday. It's a special Monday edition of Wild Wednesday. I feel bad. They stuck us in the middle of the dining room because the place is pretty packed, and we're gonna be disturbing diners. I mean, people like out for a nice dinner for with the wife or with the buddies, whatever. I feel like we're like very intrusive right now.
I think they're here though for probably.
Well, we got a table. Wild jerseys. It's clear they're here for the shuttle. But it is a very special Wild Wednesday as Blossom gets her first period. Now, this is a very special Wild Wednesday on a Monday where we are going to give you the Bennett's experience. We come on. We got here early, as we are wont to do. Ordered up a little dinner. McGovern, all 80 pounds of them, couldn't put down 2 crab cakes, for God's sakes.
I'm just trying to be nice.
I mean, they're delicious, but I mean, they're appetizer size. They're like barely bigger than a silver dollar.
That was not even a meal. I'll admit that.
I mean, he ate 1.5 crab cake, but he weighs 80 pounds. He probably gained 3 pounds during that meal. Scott came in, did the chopped salad with the little house sirloin, which is my personal favorite. I went black and blue burger, which is fantastic, with the blue cheese sauce on the top. And I got it because it came highly recommended by Scott. And you've had it numerous times.
I also have a hard time finishing food once in a while.
Oh, please.
That's not true. Not true. I thought he was talking to me, and it made me feel bad. He's like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to McGovern.
I'm like, badass.
But we're here tonight to give you the feel for the entire Bennett's experience. It is the last Wild home game of the year. So we came down, ordered up some food.
Of the regular season.
Of the regular season. Then I'm going to be hopping on the shuttle. Scott and I will both be hopping. Well, I'll be hopping on the first shuttle. Scott will be hopping on the next one after that. And we'll be taking the shuttle from Bennett's to the X. And while on the shuttle, doing the show, which now this is the magic of podcasting. Things that traditional media cannot do. TV, radio, whatever. You ever heard anybody do a show live from a moving vehicle?
Not on a bus. No,
bus. So. We can do buses. We can do boats. Hey, boat clubs on Lake Minnetonka.
Planes, trains, automobiles.
We can do shows live from boats. I mean, zipping around a lake. We can do them live from a bus, shuttle bus, heading down to the X. We can and do go and will and do and go anywhere. For the almighty dollar. But no, but I mean, we're Wild fans. We wouldn't do Wild Wednesday if we weren't hockey passionate. And Scott was kind enough. He's taking me to the game tonight. I'm the season tickets. Big spender.
What a guy.
Isn't he? Big spender.
You don't have 3, asshole?
I mean, sorry.
So we'll be in attendance for the Wild in the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Right now, this is the first time we've been here on a game night here at Bennett's. Bennett's Chop and Rail House. It's on West 7th and Victoria, I believe is the cross.
Victoria is the cross.
Yep, West 7th and Victoria. And it's a different experience. I mean, we've been here a number of times with good crowds, festive crowds, but on a game night, these folks are here to get on the bus and go see some hockey. They have a little beverage, a little dinner, a little libation before they head out. But it's a festive crowd. There's no doubt about it. And we'll be shortly. I hope you guys can hear. Can anybody hear when they start announcing for the bus? I don't want to.
Oh yeah, they yell loudly every time they do.
Okay,
yeah.
So on the second bus, one bus has already gone.
I'll be listening for it.
One bus has already gone. One shuttle bus has already gone. I'm on the second. Scott will stay here while I will be Skyping in from the bus with my cell phone. So people, hopefully, if things come off technically the way we expect, people would not even know that I'm not here sitting next to you. But I will be on the bus, and then Scott's on the third bus, and then we go to the game. But we do have some actual hockey to talk about in the meantime. The Wild with an interesting week. They get 4 days off, which it concerned me a little bit going in. And
rightfully,
they didn't play poorly against the Rangers, but they were a little sluggish. I mean, the Rangers are a team looking at the top seed in the East and maybe a President's Trophy, which nobody wants. It seems like nobody ever. I mean, the President's Trophy is never touched, correct? I mean,
you don't go pick it up.
You don't touch that son of a bitch. Which the President's Trophy, for those who don't know, is for the most points in the regular season in the NHL. Completely meaningless. Nobody ever remembers who won the President's Trophy, and it's a superstition that you just don't touch it. Just much like when you win, either the East or the West, you don't touch the Prince of Wales or the Campbell Cup.
I was going to say those two are almost like
it's the plague.
I mean, you don't want to get it. I mean, they kind of look at it like, oh, great, we finished first. I mean, but in a lot of times. Yeah. You very well could be playing a seed, like in years past. Like you pick somebody like the LA Kings, and they're the 8th seed, and they go on to win the cup.
Correct.
So I mean, just because you're first overall doesn't necessarily give you any sort of advantage.
Correct.
Because it all depends on how the team is doing at that point in time,
right.
And how they're peaking, how they're healthy, and everything else. And going up to that break, everything really pointed to the Wild clicking on all cylinders. And I really thought that 4 days off really killed the momentum. I think the fact that we've built ourselves a little cushion, it killed off any sort of like sense of urgency because they don't they don't feel like they need to kind of claw their way back out. It's always the curse when you get the national media attention and all of the, the people drawing whoever goes up against them is going to be, really, in trouble and all this and that. And that does affect people. I mean, it gets into your head where you're like, are we really better than we maybe thought we were? And until you have maybe a couple games where you've, seen some adversity, you don't feel that. But I'm hoping that the weekend or
the physical and emotional expenditure gets to be a little much, and you're a little flat. Can I get one more, too, in plastics? I got to get on the bus with it. Thank you so much. See, we're giving you the full Bennett's experience. Got to get my next Diet Coke in a plastic.
Erin here at Bennett's is doing a great job for us.
She really is.
She's lovely, too.
Ask for Erin.
Lovely. But anyway, I digress. So I mean, my concern is that maybe the expenditure of emotion and physical energy to get where you are is a little exhausting, and then the playoffs start and you've shot the proverbial wad. We'll see if that happens or not. I mean, the trick here is they're going to be on the road in the first round. And, I mean, that gives you Nashville, Chicago, St. Louis, or Anaheim. Other than Nashville, I would think the other three would be decidedly favored against you, even though you are the hottest team in the league and people are all over you. I mean, it's St. Louis, Chicago, and Anaheim. I mean, those are tough hits.
I guess the only thing I'll say is kind of a devil's advocate to that point is that we haven't seen them on the road since the last time they were on the road, and that was 10. They were 10 in a row currently, and
that's correct.
And they're if they finish the year out on the road, they take the NHL record. Now, obviously, being at home with 4 days off, you got the kiddies at the practice because it's spring break, and you got a loose feel, and everybody's feeling great, and there's very jovial nature and to the locker room. Maybe you're getting a little too comfy at home, and everything's a little too soft, and even though you did have the loss against the Rangers, and then you come from behind and get the cheap point. I mean that shootout was kind of brutal on Saturday.
Well,
but you missed Mikko on Saturday, which obviously, I mean, that's a factor.
But let me ask you this: how was that Vanek's first attempt of the year? How have they not used him in a shootout?
Because honestly, he wasn't scoring. So I mean, maybe that just
did you see that move?
But apparently, goalies know about that move. He even said that. He's like, "Well, I haven't done it all year, so maybe he won't remember that I had this move."
But how many people can flip? I mean, it's one thing to do it to roof a backhander like Mikko does, but to just flip a frickin' on your forehand, to just flip a laser upper shelf like that from tight. I mean, that's not easy.
Not only that, but the fact that he circled the puck before he did it.
Yeah.
That in itself was impressive. But you're right.
But then just to flip a forehand up high from in tight, glove side to beat it.
Away from the goalie.
That is not easy. That is not easy.
I agree that it isn't. But the reason he hasn't been shooting is because he hasn't been scoring. So I mean, you're going to go after.
He has for quite some time.
I know, but you're still going to go after. If Mikko was in the lineup, your shootout lineup.
Were you surprised when they said his first attempt of the year? I was. I mean, I would have thought he got in there once.
Slightly, but bear in mind, we haven't had a ton of shootouts.
That's true.
I mean, and a lot of shootouts that haven't gone beyond the first three.
And they do use the same three all the time.
So you go with Parise, Koivu, and Palmer, and that's
Parise's pretty mediocre in that regard too. By the way, he's not that nifty.
His percentage doesn't show that he's mediocre, but I mean, lifetime he holds one of the highest percentages of shootouts.
Oh,
correct.
Bad.
So I mean that's why you go after a guy that has a lot of different ways he can score. Mikko has his one way.
My favorite was Ralston of all time.
Oh, his slap shot from the hash marks.
When the goaltender basically, it's like Goldberg. You have to tie the goal. You have to tie him down and make him stand there. He's like covering his head.
Well, but the thing, I mean,
Mighty Ducks reference.
On that point, then why don't you put Dumba in there?
Seriously.
I mean, why won't you get Dumba in the hash marks and just rock one from the hash marks and watch some goalie get nervous?
Wouldn't that be great?
I mean,
I would love it.
Be awesome.
If he could paint the corners, that's the guy you go with. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, with our goalie talking about how he has shoulder pain after taking one through the pads from Dumba.
Yeah.
And
he crumbled.
I mean, that's on the flip side. What about the Granlund move? It's a pretty move that a lot of guys pull off, but you really got to get the goaltender moving side to side. So just kind of tapping around him with that backhand reach around.
Sure.
The backhand reach around. But
God,
not getting him going.
But But seriously, I mean, it was a pretty slick move, but Howard didn't go for it. I mean, he didn't.
He didn't go for it, and I mean, that's
close.
a move that you see somebody like Kane do, and other players where they get the goalie to commit, and then they go the other side.
Brandon
and
might lack the reach. Does he lacks the reach for that?
Well, he's also, I mean, he's a little guy. I mean, so maybe he doesn't. Maybe somebody like Coyle, who has a lot more wingspan, could pull that off, or a Nino. I mean, Nino's goal hit basically between the crossbar and the pipe.
Yeah,
I mean, he makes that goal, the game's over. It's a different story. We get an extra point. All things being equal, we still got a point. I mean, we got a cheap point out of it, and I would even call it a cheap point at this point because I would call it the point that we worked for to get to OT.
Agreed.
And so, in just getting that creates that 4-point separation. So somebody does have to win a larger percentage of games in combination with our losses. So it gives us a little extra cushion for making the playoffs and retaining that 7th seed.
That was Dubnik's first shootout loss, I believe, too, by the way.
Yeah.
So he's been perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think he nothing that he did really surprised me as far as, like, looking poor.
No.
As far as his performance in the shootout. I mean, Detroit has some skill. That has a lot of skill. And they have a lot of young skill. So, I mean, you can't take anything away from a shootout loss against a team that really has they've had some missteps recently, but for the most part, I mean, it's Detroit. I mean, they're showing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the East.
Well, tonight it's the Winnipeg Jets. I've yet to be to the X when Winnipeg is in town. I mean, I've been to it a ton. I just saw the bus pull up. The bus is back.
Wait till you hear the Go Jets Go chant.
That's what
I'm assuming there won't be as many of those fans in the stands tonight.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter when the Wild fans show up. It doesn't. They've had those tickets for months.
Oh God! I mean, they buy them in the beginning of the season.
Okay.
I've
been looking forward to that. Actually.
I thought it was something where I heard that they were trying to restrict this game's sales. Like how Florida's doing with their playoff tickets.
I saw that.
I think they're trying to. I think
what I heard. Who does Florida expect? Who's Tampa?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who do the Lightning expect?
But I have heard that Minnesota was trying to restrict the sales to Winnipeg fans because they didn't want because they come down in just droves. I mean,
it's like when North Dakota would come to Minnesota.
And I mean, it's not that far away. I mean, truthfully, like you hop on a bus, it's like probably the equivalent of going to like Chicago.
It's the same. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So you hop on a bus, you come down, you just get an extra day off of work. And then you hop back on your charter bus, and you're back up there by Tuesday.
Cooler Labatt's in the back.
Yeah, I mean you're getting, and they come in full effect. I mean,
just a bunch of Bob and Doug McKenzie.
That's kind of. I mean, if there was an outdoor game, granted the national media wouldn't give a shit.
You guys have neither of you seen The Strange Brew, have you?
Nope.
So totally wasted reference.
Take off hoser?
Bob and Doug McKenzie, completely wasted reference.
Doesn't have to be wasted on the audience. The audience got it.
Taste it. Oh, come on, man. All right, but in all honesty, I'm looking forward to like a kind of a college atmosphere.
Oh, they get the chant going, and another thing to point out: wait until you hear the anthem, because as soon as the Canadian anthem hits the words "True North," you know what Canadian fans are there because they yell it. Because
really?
True North is the business that brought Winnipeg from Atlanta. It's True North Sports.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So True North Sports brought them up. So when they say True North in the anthem, they're paying homage to the people that brought back hockey.
That's also kind of cool, actually.
I think I've told you guys this story before, but when the Jets were leaving, when they were leaving Winnipeg, and it was believed that they were going to make Target Center their home, Mike Woodley was hosting. It was afternoons on the Fan. I was producing. I was running the board for him. And we tapped into a sports station in Winnipeg, and we were listening to people making. I mean, it was the day that the Jets left. So I mean, people were angry. People were calling. I mean, it was something to listen to. We get maybe 5-10 minutes into listening, and we're doing this live simulcast on the Fan. We get 5-10 minutes into it, and this grown adult male, I don't mean to sound indelicate, but I mean not at all mentally challenged. I mean completely with all faculties and like a business professional.
Sure.
Wept openly, sobbed. I mean, at that point, it was like a punch in the gut. We just had to turn it off. I mean, it was an adult. It was like seeing your boss at work just break down and weep. I mean, just couldn't. The guy could hardly catch it. I can't believe they're gone. I mean, I'm not trying to mock him. I mean, I felt my heart ached for this man.
Well, people were sad.
It was devastating.
People were sad when the North Stars left, but it was more anger than sadness because it was Norm Green.
Yeah, people hated it.
But when Winnipeg, I mean, the Canadian team leaves.
It was unbelievable.
I mean, it strikes a chord that's personal.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's their heart and soul.
Right. What else do they have?
And when they came back,
it was 10 minutes of compelling radio.
There was there was something I read that they sold out like their season tickets, and they had to commit for like 3 to 5 years.
Well,
like that's what you had to commit to if you wanted tickets, and it was like minutes that it sold out.
Well, if the American dollar and the Canadian dollar wouldn't have flip-flopped in value the way they have over the last decade, those teams never would have left Canada. You know what I mean? That's a simple fact.
I mean, it's monetary. It seems extremely silly that somebody would leave. I mean, the Nordiques did, and
they are small markets. I mean, I don't think people understand how few people live in Canada. It is not very populous, and I mean, 90% of the population is like basically on the border. I mean, Canada's just a great
with those cities, yeah. Within like the Torontos and the Winnipegs and
yeah.
But the whole population is like 30 million, right? Of Canada. I really think it is.
It's small. I mean,
we have 5 million in Minnesota.
Yeah, people don't understand how few people live in Canada.
I do remember.
And rightfully so.
I remember when they were gone.
So.
You shouldn't even live here, for Christ's sake.
When they were gone, I would see people coming down from Winnipeg for Wild games. They're like, well, you're our team now because we don't have a team.
Sure.
So they'd come down straight up in just like.
Should I go get comfortable on the bus?
North Star jerseys, sure.
The bus pulled in. Should I go get comfortable? Should we take a break?
Should I go come in to get anybody yet? Usually, I think he comes in to get you.
I don't know.
I mean, if you want to get out there, I don't want you to miss it. So.
What time's the bus leaving? What time does the bus leave?
The next one.
We're giving you the real Bennett's experience, folks.
5 minutes. You got 5 minutes.
I think we should break. I think I should go.
Let's take a break. Let's get you out there.
I should go get comfortable. We should go ahead and hook up the Skype.
All right.
Get this thing going.
Sound good. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Join longtime radio personality and producer Kelly Guest and friend, CEO of Fantasy Gifts, Colleen Bertino, as they talk about all things sex, men, women. Lend them your ears and learn everything you wanted to know about sex and intimacy. Only here on the Alive and Social Network.
Reach for this one.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back online.
Let's turn it on. That took a very PG direction.
Along comes this hit show.
I'm constantly burping on stage.
Hey, you heard about Madonna, right?
Twin Cities hit show with Rusty, Courtney, and Chuck.
Had she fallen to the ground and her eyes rolled into the back of her head, what would you, Tim Mahoney, have done?
I'd have tried to make out with her.
Nice.
Get in line.
The Twin Cities hit show with Rusty, Courtney, and Chuck airs live daily, 9:30 to 10:30 on the Alive and Social Network.
Ever swallowed a bug or choke like Courtney on stage?
Yeah.
I meant to do this.
When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide. Where I stop and I turn and I go to the right. Then I get to the bottom.
All right, Wild Wednesday.
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. No, we can hear you. All right. Got the music down. All right. We're back. So you're on the street still. I can actually see you, which is really weird, but
Yeah. See, I'm trying to hold the phone up so you can see what I'm doing. Look at me.
You're not leaving. You're not leaving for 10 minutes.
So Jeff, Joe just came in to say he's going to be here for 10 more minutes.
Jeff's out wandering the 7th Street right now.
Yeah, Jeff's out there looking for the shuttle.
You should go find some people and just randomly ask questions, like
there you go.
like jaywalking or something.
Yeah, let's jaywalk with Jeff.
Get beat up. I'm not out here to get beat up.
What do you call it, Jeff walk?
I'm going to come back in. I'm going to come back in for a minute.
All right, you
keep
come back
talking
in.
Yourself.
No, we got it.
I
All right.
Put down my beverage.
Oh yeah, you got your to-go cup.
Anyway, back. This is a Wild Wednesday on the Jeff Dubé Show, and even though we are doing something special by riding the bus, we still are here to talk about the Wild and do the show as we've become accustomed to doing. Scott Schweitz joins me along with Jason McGovern. Tony Dean is off this week. He's out, ridding St. Paul of criminals, or at least doing his very best to do so.
Let's hope he is.
In the
meantime,
can you guys still hear me good?
This is really weird, like just watching you walk around.
But yes, we can. We can hear you fine.
Yeah,
you want to come grab the mic again?
Obviously works quite
well.
Come
grab the mic. Come grab the mic.
I'm going to disconnect.
All right.
All right. Jeff's back. Jeff's sitting down. Jeff's got his back.
I'm back.
All right, there we go.
Can you hear me on mic?
Yeah, we're all good. Grab your headphones.
That was a live test version of that.
Yeah, test little run. It worked just fine.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did we pull it off?
Yeah. And I think the delay was actually even less bad than it was earlier. So that was good.
I went outside for those who are trying to paint a picture. I went outside and basically just kind of took the corner here on West 7th and Victoria. And I saw Joe had parked the bus left the bus and had come inside. So there really was no reason for me to be out there yet.
Right.
Because the bus was locked up, so I couldn't even go get a good seat, which was kind of my intention. I wanted to get out there early enough to get a good seat. But
Sure.
Well, I think you got shotgun on the seat right behind Joe, or any seat you want. I think actually.
Well, I'm not here to kick off a regular.
It's gonna be even better when you're like sitting next to somebody and you're just gonna be like talking away, and they're gonna be like,
They're gonna think I'm an idiot.
"Who are you talking to?"
Who the fuck is this guy
That's
talking
why I
to?
got to sit under the sign that says special. There's a sign that says special, right? It's like the front seat right behind the door.
You should get a sign that's like live broadcast in progress.
Hey, let me ask you this. And we talk about, maybe getting a little stale with the 4 days off. Maybe, like I said, maybe a little worn out, physically or emotionally from making this run that they've made. To me, this is where having guys come back into the lineup is a good thing. I mean, there's a shot of life. There's an infusion. Read in the paper this morning that Zucker could play tonight. Do we have any?
I don't think he plays tonight. I think he gets in and practices. And from what I read, he probably will play against Nashville, which will be on Thursday.
Is Cook coming back for that too, then, or is he just going to be back with the team Thursday?
I think back with the team, and Zucker is the one that I read for Thursday. I didn't see anything about Cook getting back in.
I saw what Jeff said. Zucker possibly tonight and Cook Thursday. That's what I was reading.
That's
earlier.
different. What I read this weekend was.
Well, today, this morning, the Pioneer Press, Chad Graff said that Zucker could be back as early as tonight, but they had not made a determination. But my point is, I just think when I don't want to say rut, because a hot streak is not a rut. You can't call a great hot stretch of phenomenal play a rut, like it's a bad thing. But I do think there comes a time where it's nice to have that little shot of life, that little infusion of energy, something that just kind of gets people's attention and it just shakes things up a little bit.
I would say what I just read in here is Koivu is back, Zucker is close, and the other link by Chad Graff says hope for Howla, and that sounds like a charity organization, but I think basically it just ways that he can maybe play back to his playoff form.
Sure.
And we've obviously seen glimpses of it, and we've seen glimpses with the depth that we have in center and some options that we do have. But everything being equal, I think that we need him in the lineup come playoffs. I just think that that's going to be beneficial to us speed-wise, versatility-wise. He has shown that he can play on the penalty kill. You can bring the speed to a lower end line with possible line mates, like a Schrader if he's in, or a Fontaine, or anybody else that plays around him. So
yeah, I know this might not be an issue because people go down, people get banged up. But if your D stays healthy, and you head into the playoffs with what you have right now, everybody healthy and ready to go, Prosser or Leopold?
From what I saw of Prosser the other night, I would say no.
Because of the other night?
I think
it's Prosser.
You think so, but he almost gave away a goal. I don't know.
I hope Leopold, even for personal reasons. I mean, I like to have a veteran presence, and I do believe that part
in
of
the playoffs, especially
next to Dumba. I mean, Dumba's a rookie,
and I would say just
very green rookie.
Not playing like one.
There's something that it cannot be underestimated with veteran presence in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm hoping Leopold.
You cannot underestimate veteran presence in the playoffs. If all things being equal, and you have two players that basically are neck and neck, I think you got to go with the veteran experience. I mean, you have to go with the guy that explained to us the other week that he made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 7.
Yeah,
you need to have somebody that has experienced that kind of an emotional run that can say like, "Hey guys, I've been here," and just have the voice, not to say like, "Well," I mean, you have Parisi who went to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, you have people like that. You have Carter that was in that same team. I mean, you have people that have done it.
Do we have anybody who's got their name on the cup? Do we have anyone?
No.
Isn't that weird? I mean, you're not going to find many teams that don't have a single guy. There are not many teams in the league where you're not going to have a single guy whose name's on the cup. That's got to be fairly rare, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we done?
Tom Chorsky's got his name on the cup. He's kind of replied to us a couple of times on Twitter. I thought that was kind of nice.
Well, by the way, do you ever watch the games I post the links to?
No. I usually try to find it on TV.
Do you have the NHL package?
No, but I mean, I have like the NBC, and I have all. I mean, I have NHL Network.
I'll get you a password to get you the NBC games at least.
Well, no, I get those.
You already on those ones? Okay.
Yeah, I get NBC Sports. But you know what? The NBC Sports on the computer, it's got all the big ads across the top, and you don't get a really good picture. I mean, you get a high def picture, but you don't get a full size picture. You can't go as full screen as you'd like. So sometimes first row gets you better. Actually,
I'm just going through the lineup, and I can't think of anybody. I
There's
mean,
not one.
I
There's
can't.
not.
I mean, Stewart doesn't have one. They're talking about a transplant. Bergenheim doesn't have one.
Cook, I mean, that's not a veteran.
Vanek doesn't have one.
Commonville doesn't have one. Shooter.
Cook does have one.
Cook. There you go.
Cook
There
does
you go.
have
There you
one
go.
with the
There you
Pittsburgh
go.
Penguins.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Matt Cook has a ring.
There you go. So we got one guy who's got his name on. I mean, and then you look down the coaching staff. Nobody. I mean, Darby, Bruno.
Chuck Fletcher has one, and Mike Yo has one as being an assistant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So there's a little pedigree, right?
Where was
Mike Yo was an assistant in Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Before he went to the Houston
yeah.
Arrows,
Yeah.
Iowa. And he never did the Iowa Wild, but the Houston Arrows
Right.
are the Wild. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, there's our little Becoming Wild segment right there, which is, by the way, a pretty damn cool show. Props out to guys at FSN. That's a good show.
That was grassroots. I mean, they came up with that show, and I'll tell you what, like, it was comparison because they were getting no love from any of the big networks, and nobody cared, and then we weren't named Washington Capitals, we weren't named the Pittsburgh Penguins, we weren't named, the Boston Bruins, so they were basically producing shows.
Yep.
On ESPN, and I think even did HBO even do something that kind of had that kind of
Well,
a
and
gig?
the NHL Network did something like leading up to the Stadium Series,
yeah.
like behind the
So-
scenes of the
And
Stadium
NHL does the outdoor game.
But the kicker is, as soon as the Wild
The one.
actually showed that they had they were a good team, they started picking up the FSN, like the stuff they've already played.
Oh, really?
And they're like, here. And I've watched like the NHL Network, and they've played the Becoming Wild
Yeah, they
on
really-
there.
Oh, that's
Yes.
pretty cool.
So
it's a good show. It really is.
And so, I mean, all the ones where they're going back to the home countries.
Oh
and,
yeah, I
like,
mean they fly to
you know,
Finland for this shit. I mean,
and
it's no joke.
Switzerland and all over. I mean, they've been there for Granlund, they've been there for Koivu, they've been there for Backstrom, they've been
I
there
keep swearing in
for
front of the little
Nino,
kids.
they've
They
been
can't
there.
Kids over
They
here.
can't hear you. Sounds way louder in the headphones.
They've been up to Canada. They've been all over. They've been out to Boston with Charlie. And
is it kind of like the Twins get to know them kind of thing? Is it a little bit like that though, where it's a
I don't
little?
know if the Twins get to know him.
You don't remember that? Like 5 years ago, that was the campaign. The here's so and so twin, get to know them. That was their whole radio campaign because nobody knew who the hell they were.
But I think get to know them is because they didn't know who they were. Like,
Right,
we
so
know,
that's what I think Becoming
we
Wild
know who
started as.
We know who these players are, but this gives us a little look into like where they came from.
Okay.
Like here's the rink that they played in as like a squirt and a peewee. I don't know what the European equivalent of that is, but
Right.
here's like the house they grew up in. I mean, they showed like Nino's room with all his trophies and stuff. They showed like Charlie Coyle's like house he grew up in and like his jerseys that he had and when he was drafted and all that stuff. I mean, it's kind of a cool little like look into somebody's like life before they becoming wild. I mean, it. Oh wow, that was
The name's
good.
fitting?
I
Is that what you're trying to say? That what you're
I
trying to
came
say?
full circle on that one.
You really did. I can see Joe. Oh, grab your beer. Grab your beer.
Oh man.
Well, but I mean, it's funny. I mean, that's the name of the show. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
truly what it is about.
Yeah, it's
How it is building up to when you became a Wild.
We've just completely pimped FSN here, but it is a good
Sure
program.
did.
Well, I remember when I was working at FSN, they were all about trying to come up with, I don't want to say revolutionary programming, but something different than the norm. As a matter of fact, the guy that I was working for at the time had just come from ESPN and had a hand in the development of PTI and Around the Horn. So
Okay.
he's all about breaking new ground and things of that nature. He's not there anymore, but I mean, I remember that was kind of the mantra around that was they wanted to, programming that was completely invented from the ground up.
How much autonomy do they have though from the national? I mean, because FSN it's FS Milwaukee, that's everywhere. How much of that are they guided by the national part, or is it locally? They just get to do whatever they want.
I think it's
within
not
budget.
I don't think it's a franchise, but it's almost kind of run like one in a way. I mean, I believe that you
can
probably
do-
have your own,
they have a lot of
like
freedom.
your own, shows that you can do it because clearly,
Oh,
like
yeah.
FSN North has a lot of like outdoor shows and other things. So
I
yeah,
just
they
wonder
probably
how
have-
many of those shows are also on these other Fox Sports networks.
I don't think other people care.
Not Becoming Wild,
I mean,
obviously.
but other
Yeah.
people might not care as much as like the Rube fans here.
And
I
that's
mean,
what-
like,
that's what I find
we
interesting. Maybe they
crave-
know their base.
but we crave information about our people. Like especially hockey fans. Like we want to know. I mean, some people are like, oh, I don't care where this guy's from as long as he produces. But people here are like, I really want to know about like
Right.
Brodin
New Yorkers aren't
and
worried about
Granlund
that, yeah.
and whoever else because like. We kind of adopt them in as one of us once they, they come here, and,
Sure.
and I mean it is kind of strange in that way, but at the same time, I think players really recognize that, and once they come to here and they realize like, wow, I'm treated differently here than I was any other market. Like in a market, I was basically just like, I was just a paid hand, like. Come in, do your job. Like I don't care
Left that one alone.
who you are, and
I tried.
a hired hand. I mean, that's like more of a farm reference
Yeah,
than your
paid
reference.
hand sound way worse.
But
I paid
but the
for a
point
hand.
is, it's like
I'm not paying for a hand.
But other places don't care. But here they seem to have that, very much, small town like
community
environment.
Provincial, yeah, no doubt about it.
Very provincial, yes.
So, but I know that the Fox Sports affiliates do share some programming from time. I mean, obviously, like when the Gophers and the Badgers playing hockey, like if they're in Madison, we'll pretty much just have the Badgers broadcast. They'll like send, like Ben Clymer there. I mean, now the Big Ten Network has gotten in the way, but back in the FSN days, when before the Big Ten Network, you would have basically Paul Braun and Tom Sagasor, and then maybe Kevin Dorg or Doug Woog. We'd send like one person over there to give it a Minnesota feel, and then when the Badgers were here, they'd get our broadcast. That type of thing. Of course, the Big Ten Network has come in and kind of just blown all that to bits by taking all the in-conference games.
I would definitely say though, I mean, it has to be wild driven because like you're not seeing any like other teams. Like you don't see the Timberwolves
I think it's completely FSN.
I mean, Timberwolves show or a Viking. I mean, no, because that fan doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, there is a Timberwolves version. I forget what it's called.
What do they
do the background on all the players?
Wiggins? Kinda. I mean, that's basically who else are you going to? Levine?
I haven't.
How did you learn how to dunk?
Well, I don't even watch Wolves games, let alone
there's that.
The ancillary programming that goes along with it. I'm not a big. I like Wolves Live. It took me 10 minutes yesterday to figure out who it was Quincy Lewis sitting next to Tom.
Oh yeah,
I think it was Quincy, wasn't it Quincy?
I think it is Quincy Lewis does that. Yeah.
So I'm like, God, who's the black guy? I can't figure. I should know that. I should know who that black guy is. It's Quincy Lewis. No, he's a great guy. He is.
I've hung out with him before. Actually,
he's a great dude. I love Quincy. And he does a great job, too, by the way. But I mean, it had been so long since I watched any Wolves programming that I had to sit and think, who the fuck is sitting next to Tom Hanneman? And I swore next to the kids again. There's kids right there. Someone's got to rope me in. I can no longer see Joe. See, I was watching Joe sit in the kitchen there. I don't see him anymore, so I'm wondering if it's time for me to mosey. But I wonder if Scott needs to go now, too. It's getting to be... it's only 6:01.
It's only the second one, right?
There's other people here. 6:01.
I'll go again. Has Joe left yet on the next shuttle?
I think we should take a break, and I should head out there.
Yeah. All right. Let's take another break and head out to the shuttle.
All right.
What are you drinking tonight, Jason?
The Minnesota Pubcast with Jason and Molly.
I'm drinking the Liftbridge Hop Dish.
It's Pub Talk from a Minnesotan perspective.
Awesome cultural epicenter
with great local guests.
So the other voice you hear in the room today is Jerry Fagerberg from the City Pages. Talk about the official Minnesota Tall Boy, which your piece is on the cover of the City Pages today.
It is on the cover, came out today.
Talking movies.
All right, you saw Boyhood. I need to hear what you thought.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Sports.
A guy who was undrafted knew what was coming.
And everything else you talk about at the pub.
Let's not pretend like we know what we're talking about.
Well, what do you think I do every show?
The Minnesota Pubcast with Jason McGovern and Molly Burke. Listen at mnpubcast.com or subscribe on iTunes.
We want to just find meaning in life.
With Suhan Unfiltered, sports columnist for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, Jim Suhan presents in-depth conversations with the best writers and sports personalities in the area. Suhan brings professional journalism flavor without the verbal censoring. Find out what unfiltered really means. Only on the Alive and Social Network. SuhanUnfiltered.com.
Go, Joe. Come on.
All right, Jeff, we're back. Go ahead, man.
All right, we're back. Jeff Dubay Show. We are live from Bennett's. Actually, I can't say that because I'm live from the Bennett Shuttle. Joe, we're on the air right now doing the show. Can you believe that? The technology that's involved. Joe Bennett's behind the wheel. He's only at a point. I think he was what 0.06. So he's legal. I'm just kidding. Joe's not drinking at all. Joe's making sure we get there safe and sound. I got to sit in the front row. Me and you are sitting in the front row. But boy, he knows the side streets. He's not on West 7th. We're zipping up Victoria. You got a secret route, Joe, that you take us on? He's keeping us away from the traffic. I mean, he's probably one thing. He's speeding.
I'm pretty sure he goes up. I think he goes up 35 and then exits on Kellogg, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's how he rolls.
You're not taking the freeway. No, he's not taking the freeway.
I think he's taking the freeway.
No, he does. Scott, you're right. Yeah, we're taking Victoria up to the freeway. He's taking the freeway.
Well, it's
right
not
now
his
we're
first
on the
rodeo.
I'm telling you, man, when I worked here, I would hop on the shuttle to go to games.
I think Joe took us to get a hooker. There's a hooker.
Well,
no,
right
I'm
up
just
your
kidding.
alley.
I'm just kidding. It's a clean neighborhood. It's a family neighborhood.
Jeff, you should ask
But,
if you can drive the bus.
I'm not driving the bus. I don't have a valid license right now, I don't think. So that'd be a really bad. Can you imagine if I got the bus impounded?
Never mind. Don't drive the bus. Don't drive the bus.
Show at Bennett's.
No, dude, I'm not driving the bus. But anyway, we still have a good 25 minutes left in the show. Although it's a podcast, it ends when we want it to end. Like, I've ended shows because I've had to really go to the bathroom badly in the past. I mean, it is what it is. It's the kind of flexibility that you have in the world of podcasting. But Scott, we are kind of winding up the regular season a little bit here. You got one more home game tonight against the Jets. Then you got a really killer road stretch with Nashville, Chicago, St. Louis. And then of course playoffs where you will have either Nashville, Chicago, St. Louis, or Anaheim. Obviously, the obvious answer when you start talking about who you want, the obvious answer is Nashville. But you know what? The Wild have had a lot of success recently against St. Louis. Anaheim it seems like from the time this franchise came into existence, the Anaheim Ducks have been our playoff nemesis. And obviously, they're a much different team than the one we've seen in the playoffs in the past. But nonetheless, there's something about Anaheim that just puts a pit in my stomach.
Well, it's Anaheim.
Anaheim,
Yeah, they've
always
been
got
our.
great power.
You're right.
Trying to death. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them at all.
Well, I mean, they've ever since basically 2003 when they rained on our Western Conference Final parade, and we had to face their wall of a goalie, Joan Sebastian Giguère, to basically get to anywhere, and what did we maybe score a goal in the entire series? I mean, it was ridiculous, and obviously we've had our problems in the past with them because we haven't matched up well size-wise. Now, we've had the conversation back and forth about looking at, do we play bigger now because of Stewart? Are we going to match up with them differently? We have not played them since, obviously, we've turned things around and added size. So is there going to be a difference of how we play them comparison to in the past? Same thing with how we're playing the Blues. In the past, we've kind of gotten pushed around by them. We obviously have done well against Nashville. Chicago's my wild card personally to say, are we going to be able to play them like we can play them, or are we going to play them, with a little hesitation because of the history? Not sure. Obviously, time will tell. We have played well on the road, so I don't think it matters who we play. We're going to be playing. We're going to be playing good on the road because we've had that better road win percentage than we have at home. So time will tell. But obviously, these next three games. After Winnipeg, with at Chicago on a back-to-back, then at Nashville on Thursday, and finishing up the season on a matinee on Saturday against the Blues.
We're flying up 35E as we speak, coming up to the exit for Kellogg, nearly at the arena. Joe doing a hell of a job. A little sweat on the brow.
It's quick.
A little nervous. No, it's very quick.
I asked him in the past. I said, "Why don't you go down 7th?" He goes, "Because this is way faster." Man, I didn't believe him, and it truly is.
Well, not quick enough for the guy sitting next to me. He's had it with the commentary. Already referred to me as this guy or that guy, something like that. I'm just missing.
Did you tell him who you are?
Yeah. It's nobody remembers who I am.
It's the best. It's the best of you. You could use the line like, "Do you know who I am?"
Walk into a bar, people know who I am. I can sit on the shoulder of a Wild game, and I'm that guy. I mean, what happened to me? Where did I go? I mean, it's very disheartening.
Can I get a different angle, though, at the camera, please? Can I please get a different angle up your nose?
Yeah, how about Joe? You want to see Joe? There's Joe.
There he is. This is
so
weird. I've never done radio where I can see the person on the other end of a remote.
I don't have the problem. I'm looking at the back of his laptop, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's really good for you.
Oh, good.
In all honesty, I don't know where to aim this thing that's non-offensive. I mean,
it doesn't matter. The listeners don't give a shit.
But in all honesty, with podcasting, I mean, you can go places and do things that you can't do in any other medium. I mean, this is live. We're live right now on the air. We're going. As a matter of fact, we're live right now worldwide, and I'm riding a bus.
You sound good, by the way.
We're not constrained by wires or cords or ISDN lines or any of that crap. I mean, we can go anywhere. We can do anything. It's the beauty of the medium that is kind of just being invented and reinvented on a daily basis. that is. I mean, we're not. Don't get me wrong. We're not Lewis and Clark.
I was going to say,
we're
pioneers, aren't we?
We do live in a wireless world. I mean, we're everything that comes out, like the next generation of anything that has been before is always like, oh, now you can do this wirelessly, or now you can do this remotely, or now you can do this like virtually. Like everything is all about cutting the wires. It's cutting like, the ties, and you can kind of float around wherever you want. I mean, it's the next step. I mean, think of Wi-Fi. I mean, when you didn't have to have your device plugged into a Ethernet cable or something, that was huge.
Changed the world.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Well, and as far as being pioneers is concerned, anybody who's got an old Hill Murray yearbook knows that Scott has been, always will be a pioneer.
Yeah, right.
And by that I mean the guy with the coonskin cap.
I am not a pioneer. I am the pioneer.
Wow.
The pioneer.
Wow.
You were the mascot for the Pioneers.
Yeah,
I mean,
watch out.
do you still have the coonskin cap?
Not a lot of people can say they were the pioneer, so I'm just saying.
Do you still have the coonskin cap, and do you wear it to pick up chicks?
No.
I'm just curious.
I think I had to turn it back in, actually, when I graduated.
Really? Okay.
Sad,
Well,
sad.
we're nearing. I can see the X. We're about a block away. We're gonna let all the folks out. Then I'm gonna get back on the bus, and it's gonna be just a nice, peaceful ride back to Bennett's with me and Joe Bennett, the namesake of the fine establishment. And I mean, I don't want to distract him. I mean, we don't want a distracted driver kind of a ticket. We don't want anybody like texting and driving. But I'm going to interview him and talk to him as we're heading back.
They're basically they drop you off right at the entrance with the Blue Line bar. If people are familiar with the inside of the X, the Blue Line bar is right where kind of all the shuttles go, and it's extremely convenient to if you go there early on the Bennett's bus. They have the deals at the Blue Line bar. You can stop in and grab a drink on your way in. It's pretty nice. And same thing on your way out. It's convenient to go out and grab the shuttle and get out of there.
There's nothing better than a free ride to a game. There's nothing better than that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, you know how expensive parking is down here?
It's a bitch.
I mean,
and you don't have to fight traffic. I mean, when you walk, I mean, I know it with walking home. I walk home from the X after games, and I can see like the crazy traffic coming out of those parking ramps and everything. If you can hop on a shuttle and get over here and get to any freeway you want, pretty much from here, that saves you easily 20 minutes.
I leave games early just to avoid traffic. And
nobody likes to do that.
I'm gonna get off this bus. I gotta disembark and let everybody off. I'm in the front, and then I'm gonna re-embark.
It's like a ship.
But the parking lot to my left, it's either $25 or $30. Well, I mean, are you kidding me to park $25, $30? What is this, New York? Oh, it's a couple of Jets rubes. God, they just look stupid.
You should go interview them.
And you gotta do the J.
I'm getting off the bus.
Hang
on, I'm gonna go talk to these Winnipeg fans.
Do it.
No Jets, no.
No, I'm gonna forget the announcement. I'm gonna go talk to these Winnipeg guys.
Oh boy!
What's going on?
Oh, the show just got interesting.
Hey,
It's gonna be good.
I'm live on the air here. You guys are all from Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
Really? Because you don't look that stupid. No. Just kidding. What do you think about Blake Wheeler?
Blake Wheeler's an amazing player.
He's one of our guys. You know, people hate him everywhere he goes. Would you guys like him? I love him. He was a gopher. He's from here. I mean, are you guys from Winnipeg or are you from like North Dakota? Because because I'd much rather be from Winnipeg than North Dakota. Nothing's worse than being from North Dakota.
Oh yeah, where Grand Forks?
Seriously, Grand Forks could kiss my ass.
Exactly.
Grand Forks could fuck themselves.
Oh,
yeah. Seriously, you know the state tree of North Dakota is a telephone pole. It's hell on earth. It's hell on earth.
Jeff, move a little. You sound bad.
Why don't you like him? Oh, I gotta get on the bus. Joe's leaving.
Go.
Joe's leaving.
Bye, Winnipeg fans.
I'm back on the bus with Joe. It's just me and Joe now.
Thank God, because you were breaking up.
Oh, yeah, I interviewed you. Could you guys hear the Winnipeg guy? Could you hear him at all?
Oh, yeah, we can hear him.
Oh, he's a total idiot. The Winnipeg guy was an absolute idiot. I'm back on the bus with Joe. Joe, how about that secret route? I love the secret route.
Uh-oh.
It's a great route. We go fast. It gets us down there. We love it.
Can you guys hear Joe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can hear him.
Got him.
Oh, can you guys hear Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Joe, tell me here now. You've been doing this for a while. I'm talking to Joe, you guys. You guys just zip it for a second back there, all right? It's not all about. It's not the Scott and Jason show, all right? Just relax back there. I'm talking to Joe up here.
All right.
Joe, so you typically make 3 runs a night? Is that correct?
Sometimes 4, depending on how many people we have.
But you must be fired up for this team being in the playoffs. I mean, a long run's got to be financially very nice bonus for you.
Well, beyond that, I just love hockey, and I want to see the Wild get the cup. I mean, that's what the excitement part is for me.
You know how many guys on this team have their name on the cup right now?
How many?
1. Well, other than the coach. Matt Cook and Mike Yeo are the only 2 whose names are on the cup. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just not a ton of experience there. I haven't been able to settle this with you, but you're fucking Bulldogs. God damn it, Joe.
Well, they're a solid team, great coaching. They've had to go for his number this year. That's all there's to it. But it was so sad to see them go out when they did and the way they did. But, there's always next year.
Can we all agree on one thing here? It's time to cheer for the Boston University Terriers. Go BU.
Oof, that's hard.
Go BU. I'm with you all the way. Jack Eichel is a god. That kid is very, very good.
Yeah, he's got crazy hands. Sick hands. As John Butchercross would say, the kid's got sick mitts. Now, let me try to reconnect my headset here. Are you guys still with us? Are you still hearing us?
Yeah, we got you.
Well, you told us not to talk, so
yeah,
we're
just
going to
shut
be
up.
quiet until told otherwise.
I know. I just told you guys to shut up. I just wanted to make sure that we're still with you. Are you hearing this all loud and clear?
Oh, yeah. We're loud and clear. Yep.
And then Skype dropped. Nope.
Yeah, this has worked extraordinarily well. I'm getting kind of cold shakes, though, because we're right next to the courthouse. We're right by the Ramsey County Courthouse. And I'm about to shit my pants. To be perfectly honest. The days where I came down here knowing that I was going to have to piss dirty in a cup. Oh, my God, I'm getting the cold sweats just thinking about it. Not that addiction is anything to joke about, but once you're young, once you're clear of it and you're happy, clean, sober, and doing the right things, it's easy to look back at what an idiot you once were. But, we're going through a tunnel. You might lose me. Tunnel. God, you guys still there?
We're still here.
Still got you. I still got video and audio. Unfortunately, the video part.
Gunned it. Joe just gunned it to get through the tunnel in record time.
Nice.
But I was going to say, both in a metaphorical sense and literally, the courthouse is now in our rearview mirror. The Ramsey County Courthouse is in the rearview mirror. And that's just how symbolic for me, for yours truly. But anyway, back to the Wild. Well, what are you expecting in these last 4 games, Scott? You got the home finale tonight against Winnipeg. I just talked to the idiot Jets fan. Although he thinks North Dakota sucks too. So how bad does the state of North Dakota have to be if people from Winnipeg make fun of it?
Well, I'll tell you this.
That's
the big thing for us tonight is that Bufflin is still going to be suspended for his cross-check. Now, the tongue-in-cheek unfortunate thing is that he didn't hit the guy hard enough that he was still able to score the winning goal on us on Thursday night. So that's unfortunate. The Ranger player.
Right.
So, but he is out, so that does take a dynamic away from the Jets, a player that obviously has skill, but also has the physical presence that can take our younger guys off their game. So that's going to be to our benefit as long as we can play our game. The fast game, the defensive game. I think we're going to be okay tonight. Going into Chicago on a back-to-back with travel, it obviously is going to take quite a bit. You're going to need to lean on Dubnyk like you have in the past on the back-to-back to be able to keep you in for that first period until you get your legs. The benefit is that we will have a pretty deep lineup, so we can plug and play guys if we need to have some fresh legs and fresh bodies in. We do have that advantage. So coming up on the next couple of games, we'll see. Obviously, before that Thursday game, we'll be back here at Bennett's again to talk about the past couple games and talk about the next couple games. So we'll see. But I'm hoping we can, if we can split the, tonight and tomorrow, I think that's going to be good. Obviously, we win tonight, we're going to clinch. So we'll see. I think that I'm positive we're going to make the playoffs regardless, but I'm hoping we can make it happen tonight.
Is there any way that the depth is a negative? Is there any way that the depth could be a negative, that you have too many guys and you're going to mess with your lines? Could that be a possibility?
What do you think, Scott?
For me personally, I don't think so because they've all played different roles, especially like a guy like Fontaine who shows that he can really be a plug-and-play guy. He's a catalyst. You don't want to mess with things too much, thinking of, like that Coyle line that has operated so well with Stewart and Nino.
Yep.
There's questions about, Granlund with the center, obviously his face-off percentage, on that top line, what you call top line with Parisi and Pominville. Third line's been great as well, with Vanek, Coyle, and Fontaine. And then you have your fourth line, which really can be a collection of a number of guys depending on who you're playing. So I don't think it's a negative. You have guys like Schrader that are, fringe guys that are in and out of the lineup. You have the Carters and the Brodziaks that are in and out. Until Cook is healthy enough and has shown that he's ready to go, You don't really have to worry about him. You don't have to worry about Zucker until at least probably next week. But I don't think so, because I think competition is something that's really going to keep this team driving, and it's not going to be in a negative sense where players are going to kind of have a little chip on their shoulder that they're being taken out. I think it's a very team mentality. So as long as you have guys that are continuing to push the lineup and force good play, I don't think it's a negative. Personally, I don't think you're going to have a crowded room.
What do you guys think the speed limit is on Shepherd Road? Because Joe does not give a shit.
Isn't it 55?
It's the Autobahn.
45, I
right, but I mean, most people refer to Shepherd Road. Joe Bennett calls it the Autobahn.
Oh, Shepherd Road. I was thinking 7.
Shepherd.
Oh, no,
45, I think.
No, Shepherd Road. I think like legitimate speed limit is like between 45 and 55. But I mean that is the that's St. Paul's extra freeway. For anybody that lives around here, that is St. Paul's extra freeway. And if nobody's on there, I mean, you could tear through that thing doing 70. It doesn't. I mean, nobody's there.
Me and Joe on the bus, just kind of knocking around the countryside. I kind of feel like I'm in the Partridge Family right now. You guys are too young to get.
Do you have your guitar?
It is.
Sing some Kumbaya.
Oh, thanks for trying to get by. At least you didn't say bass, because if you had said bass, that would have made me Danny Bonaducci. No, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that reference. I don't need that comparison. But we are flying back. Joe makes this circuit in record time. I mean, if there was ever like a Grand Prix kind of race, a street race in St. Paul, they would set up a course very similar to the one that Joe has mapped out here, and they wouldn't come close to his time. I mean, and he's doing it in a bus. It's very.
Are you scared right now, or is it just
very, very impressive?
I think he's kind of excited.
Very little about any local law, any kind of speed limit. I'm slightly concerned for pedestrians. I am safe. If we were to hit a pedestrian, I wouldn't really feel it. And it would be something I might not even hardly even notice. Just a little bump.
What we need to have Tony Dean, like basically with your police escort.
Yes.
Where's he at?
Yes.
Let's get Dean in the mix. Get lights and sirens.
He's probably out in front, like mapping out the course, putting down cones. He's like the guy who leads a funeral procession, which is also somewhat fitting.
Oh,
he's a little simple. But we're back at Bennett's. There it is. I can see Bennett's.
Hey, but all seriousness, last 5 games for each team, Winnipeg is 2-3, with wins coming their last game against Vancouver 5-4.
I'm going to come back in a second here.
You're going to come back in? Do we have a little hiatus before the next shuttle?
I'm leaving him on the phone though until he gets here.
This will be the third. Joe just told me to go in and announce. I get to announce that the second shuttle is now loading.
Are you going to do it live and on the air?
The tip jar only has $3. Joe is clearly an asshole to everybody because there's only $3 in the tip jar. Joe, you got to be. Joe's obviously very stern with this customer. Okay, I'll be in here in just a second.
Right,
check this out. I get to announce the next shuttle. Hang on, I'm coming back in.
No, what I was saying is that we're.
He's not listening to you at all.
People take me seriously.
Are you talking to other people?
Third shuttle number 3 is loading.
Let him
Joe
go.
told me to say that. I swear to God, I'm not just some idiot. Third shuttle loading. No! Third! Idiots. They can't count to 3. I'm back.
All right. Let's get that off the Skype. Yep, grab your mic there.
Here, look at you can fill up.
Look at that, I'm back. I did it.
That was quite an experience.
Fill up your to-go cup
Joe
here.
drives like a bat out of hell. I mean, that bus is just deadly.
Here you go. Look at I filled up your cup for you.
Oh, thank you very much. It runneth over.
Oh, well, that worked. We know we can do that again. That was interesting.
That was fun.
That was something else.
Technically, how was it?
It was fine. There's a couple of little technical problems, but not really.
Well, I have just to show the kind of financial resources I have with this working for the Live and Social Network. My phone only does 3G. I don't have a 4G phone.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I might as well have a tin can and a string.
Game.
No, I don't know if it's me who's got to step up.
Honestly, that was pretty good. And especially since you were doing video too, there had to be a lot of data you were sending back and forth. It sounded good.
Yeah, but I think you have to do video to have that clear.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
If you don't do video, I think
and
you just
free.
You get a phone connection.
Yeah.
How weird is it that for Skype?
Isn't that weird?
Like if you were going to call my phone, like dial up my phone number and have me just sound crackly.
They would charge me.
They charge you for that, but for the video call and the really clear audio, it's free.
Right.
I don't
Makes a lot of sense. Good service. Good service there,
Isn't
Skype.
it weird? It's a bizarre little juxtaposition.
Hey, either way, we figured out the freeway.
But Scott was just sitting here breaking down the Wild and the rest of the season.
I just basically was bringing up like between the Wild and the Jets last 5 games each. Wild are 3-1-1. Obviously, until we hit the Rangers in that 2-3 loss, and then the overtime loss and the shootout to Detroit, we've been pretty, clicking along pretty well. Obviously, with those strong wins against LA and Calgary on back-to-backs. Winnipeg, on the other hand, they lost to Vancouver 2-5. They beat Montreal, then lost against Chicago.
You just said 2-5. That's how girls give scores.
Just do that.
That's how girls give scores.
I'm just reading. I'm reading on the screen. Sorry,
Jesus.
whatever.
But guys say 5-2.
2-5.
Yeah, that was so chick-like, wasn't
Well,
it?
if you lose, I believe the losing
not
number is
ping pong.
on the front end.
This isn't 2 serving 5. I mean, come
Love
on.
15.
Anyway, continue.
Sorry, now we're just dicks.
But then they won against Vancouver 5-4.
2 serving 5.
5-4. So they picked up their win a couple nights ago against Vancouver. So
The guy's bringing me to the game. I should really back off.
True. I'm sit by myself. Whatever.
Wait, I haven't been that big of a dick. No.
Jason will come and sit.
Just saying.
Bennett has thinned out remarkably. The bus is doing its job. Oh,
everybody went to the game, man.
Bus number 3 has left. Boy, they do not.
Wait, weren't you on that 3?
I was on bus number 2. Bus number 3 just left.
Were we supposed to be on bus number 3?
I think that's the last bus.
No, there's gonna be another one. It's only 6:30, and like Joe wouldn't drive.
I'll drive you guys down there anyway.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I think so Joe told me that sometimes there are 4 buses. So I mean, they don't mess around. We'll get to the game one way or another.
Sure. You'll make it. You'll make it.
But could you hear the idiot Winnipeg fan that I was interviewing?
Yeah.
He was pounding a nail as I was talking to him.
I could see him blowing the smoke.
Oh,
too,
yeah. You can see
I'm watching the video.
That's right. You had video.
I wish we got to figure out a way for the listeners to get the video feed too. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. And you can. There's all kind of new things you can do on Twitter too, as far as video and audio.
You can upload that. Yep.
Yeah. So where you don't even you used to be where you just have to, and I still do this. Post links to audio, I post links to the show. I don't know that we could actually post an entire show.
That's
on
a little
a
different,
tweet.
but now you can post video and
we
pictures.
could cut out something good. We could cut out something good from each show as a promo and post that.
Absolutely.
Without having to be a link. So there's all kinds of stuff.
There's more work for me. All right, let's go.
Well, you're being paid well enough.
That's what I'm saying. With this overcompensation.
Oh, I know.
All right.
We're just teasing.
I'm just fucking.
You both digress.
Sean. That's a digress. That's a bygress.
We digress.
You bygress.
Sean and Scott, no, we love them. We love them like brothers. We love them like brothers.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like fam.
It is like fam.
It really is.
Like stepbrothers, like boats and hoes.
Anyway.
I love that one. But let's go ahead and put a wrap on this one. A quick preview of the week on the Jeff Dubé Show. Oh, let's preview some other shows while we're at it, as a matter of fact, since we got a couple of minutes. Tomorrow we're back in studio for a Twins Tuesday. Brandon Warren, Ted Schwetzler. It's opening day today. Twins lose 4-0.
And they are off tomorrow, right?
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
Phil Hughes, a decent game, gave up a couple of big flies in the second. Settled in, pitched very well after that. Price just went through them like the proverbial hot knife and butter. Twins had a shot in the 6th, and that's when they let it get away from them. They get the 8 and 9 guys on to lead off an inning, and then the 1 and 2 guys strike out, hit into a double play. Do you think with a couple guys on top of the order rolling around, you'd have a shot? Not how it went down. Twins lose 4-0. We'll talk about it tomorrow on Twins Tuesday. Wednesday's program, believe it or not, it's a wild Wednesday. We'll be back here at Bennett's. Tony Dean will be off.
Double dose.
Ben Remington will sit in for Tony Dean, but Scott Schweitz, Jason McGovern, and yours truly will all be here enjoying fine food and talking NHL. Do the Wild play that night? Do the Wild have a game?
No, we play tonight. We play tomorrow night. We are off Tuesday, Wednesday, back in action Thursday.
Wait a second. You just said we play tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's Tuesday.
Tomorrow night's Tuesday against
you play
Chicago.
Yeah, when you said we're off, you just said we are off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
No, we play tonight. We play tomorrow night. We're off Wednesday.
Okay. Well, we can play the tape back. I'll prove it to you.
You were right, Scott. You're right.
No,
okay. You're right.
Thank you.
He said we're off Tuesday. He said
play tonight, play tomorrow night, off Wednesday, play Thursday, off Friday, play Saturday.
Well, nonetheless, we will be here Wednesday. We'll have all kinds of hockey to talk about, including tonight's game against Winnipeg and Tuesday's game at Chicago. Thanks to Joe Bennett and the folks here at Bennett's Chop and Rail House, West 7th of Victoria. You got playoff tickets for the Wild this year? Stop here on the before the game. Have a great dinner. Take the shuttle, as I just did. You saw how quickly I was down there and back? It's outstanding. And Joe Bennett's a great guy, so make sure you stop and check it out. Thanks to Jason McGovern, Scott Schweitz. I'm Jeff Dubé. It's been a Wild Wednesday special Monday edition. Go Duke! I hate Wisconsin. Go Duke!